Hey everyone, and welcome back to Miss Azrael's Gaming. So today we're going to jump into Tavern Talk again. And I believe the last time we played, we actually put together another quest that somebody could take. And I believe we were doing it for Melly. And I forget what it was to investigate. I think it was the missing familiars. So let's go ahead and get started. So we're on Act 2, Starlight Sonata, 9, Crossing the Threshold, 5th of the Astral Moon. Good morning, Innkeeper. Could you please make me a drink? I need something to wake me up and help me feel agile again. Of course, Fable. Just a moment. Okay, well that would be a swift strike, right? It's what Fable always wants. So we have a little defense, little intelligence, and a whole lot of dexterity. Thank you. I feel much better already. Long night? Very. Turns out there were a lot of farmers who needed help. Regret offering it? Not at all. I really enjoy being able to help people. Before I used to wish I could help, but I never felt competent enough to try. It's fun to try. A bit exhausting at times, but I think I much prefer this over waiting around. I still could use a bit more practice, though. That's fair. Just make sure you also practice taking breaks. You'll have a much easier time helping other people if you're not close to passing out yourself. That's what I have your drinks for. My drinks are not a gateway to burnout. I admire your kindness, Fable, but you too should fall under the umbrella of people you're being kind to. I mean, I am pretty good at falling. You're pretty good at a lot of things. I try. I know. Stay and have a rest now, okay? Okay, thank you. Oh, we got somebody new here. Good day to you, Innkeeper. Good day to you too, adventurer. Yes, an adventurer. That is what I am indeed. I come here seeking a drink. What a coincidence. I do happen to have some of those in stock. What can I get you? What kind of drinks do you adventurers usually get? Whatever drink they desire. Then, well, I could do with something that tastes good. Of course. Perhaps something that could protect me from my foes? Defense is the best of every adventurer's skill set, is it not? Possibly. Let's try it out. Okay, so defensive drink, that would be the Frosted Lagoon. So a little bit of strength, a little bit of charisma, and a lot of defense. Liquid protection against your foes, now for half the price. Thank you very kindly. Do you like it? Well, yes, of course. Then you should say so. I apologize. I forgot to do the thing where you say your words out loud. I get that. Now that you've required a drink, care to introduce yourself? How incredibly rude of me to forget. I am Gustav Archibald Richmond III, son of Lord Gustav Albert Richmond II and Lady Dorothea Bridget the 27th. An up-and-coming hero from Winmore, and who might you be? The up-and-coming Innkeeper of Zenith. Happy to have you here. And I'm Fable, of the Ashen Grove. You're a Fable? Yes? Is that a bad thing? The Fable that saved Trigarian from werewolves. The very same. Wow, what an incredible pleasure it is to meet you. I've heard so many things about you. Oh, good things, I hope. Of course. They said you single-handedly persuaded the werewolf to give up his wicked ways and reunited a family. That's one way to put it for sure. They do have a way with words. Incredible. A true hero indeed. They spoke of you helping with the aftershocks of the Starfall as well. I mean, that's a given. I need to help out when I can. You truly have the heart of a folk hero. How admirable. What about you, Lord Gustav Archibald Richmond III? What are you a hero of? Well, I'm currently leaving my backstory era. I'm in the I'm in the first act, so to speak, on my journey of becoming a full-blown adventurer. I've had a bit of a late start, but I shall catch up with haste. Also, Archie is just fine. You don't have to say the whole thing every time. Well, Archie, if it's haste you're looking for, I can help with that. Someone gifted me some golden feathers a few days ago. Perhaps as an infusion, or prepared as an infusion for the right drink, they can hasten you up in no time. Really? That's spectacular. I always thought those things were myths of legends you only read about in books. Do you read a lot? Sometimes. Not that much. You should. You sound like someone who enjoys adventure, and books are so full of them. They are? I'm just too cool for books. Books are cool. You think so? Yes, I do. I mean, look at the Innkeeper's journal. It's super cool. The coolest. Oh, well, actually, maybe I do read quite a bit. I'm sorry for being so weird about it. Don't worry, we're all a little weird sometimes. What kind of books do you like? Anything full of adventures and heroes and adventuring heroes. They're just like me. Obviously, my parents would much prefer if I read about other things, such as books on etiquette or the newspaper. I'm sure they would love it if I wrote a dissertation on the intricacies of the Dyria negotiations, or even become a diplomat myself. But I think it would fare much better as a savior of this world, don't you think? The Dyria negotiations. I'm unfamiliar. It's all terribly boring, really. They're renegotiating trade routes due to the collapse of the canal bridge that was hit by a horde of spinal rhinoceroses. It's not going all that well, because they can't agree on who would pay for the repairs, the mainland, or the Dyria itself. Just thinking about it puts me to sleep. Okay, so unlike diplomatic collapse, then perhaps we should get back to more exciting topics. How do you plan to start off your hero's journey? By doing something heroic, of course. What's something heroic I could do? You could start by helping the local farmers. They're still rebuilding their homes and relocating their cattle as we speak. Great idea. How much gold should I give them? Gold? I mean, I'm sure they wouldn't mind gold, but I was thinking about lending them a hand. Physically, with your literal hands. Ah, okay. So I would go to the farmers and ask what they need help with. Of course. That sounds... I shall figure it out. Thank you for the inspiration, Fable. It has been an honor meeting you. I hope we shall cross paths again. Till my next quest, Innkeeper. Till then. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, we got the Scandal of Zoford. That's what... Okay, so there's Archie. Human, 24, he him, swashbuckler, Winmore, neutral good, the hermit. Archie's the noble son of an influential family from Winmore. He's quite out of touch with reality, growing up around books instead of everyday people. He wants to experience the adventurous life he's always read about, especially after hearing the tales of Fable, the folk hero. That was adorable. Weird. Not because of him, he heard about me being a hero. That doesn't sound right. But you are a hero. Not really. I don't even do that much yet. Not enough to be inspiring to anyone, anyway. There are much greater heroes than me out there. He wasn't impressed by other heroes. He was impressed by you. That's nice. You don't sound very happy about it. I am. It's really flattering, but I just don't think I did enough to deserve his praise. I'm just some elf. It's not for you to decide who's impressed by you and who isn't. I'm personally going to keep bragging about knowing Fable, the great hero of Ashen Grove and savior of Terrigan. All right, I get it. Thank you, Innkeep. I'll try better to accept compliments. Good. Oh, it's my boy. Oh, Melly took the quest. Hello, Innkeeper. Hello, Fable. Hello, Melly, and hello, Malachite. It's good to see you both again. Likewise. Right, Mal? Can I offer you two a drink? Actually, you can offer us a quest. Are you talking about the one you just picked up by any chance? Your incredible deductive skills strike again. I'm only trying to match wits here. So you're interested in saving those poor familiars? I am. Missing familiars, silent wizards, clues leading to a seemingly dead end. This sounds like a case for the world's greatest detective. And her sneaky assistant. They do sound like a great team. They're not a team. But they are going on a quest together. They are not. Then why are you here? She didn't want to come here alone. Said she can't reach the quest board. And I needed a drink anyway. So you're sending Melly on a quest alone, as is customary. That's how the Shadowbanes have always handled it. Melly isn't part of the Shadowbanes. It's an honored tradition. I mean, she's not part of the Shadowbanes. But she wishes to walk the path of thieves, so she must embrace their lifestyle. I think she's trying to walk the path of a detective, and that just sounds dangerous and negligent. I agree. You're not coming with me? No. Why not? I just explained that. Badly. But you have to come with me. Why? It's clearly a job for two people. There's no job that can't be done alone. What if I need someone to sneak into the crime scene to gather evidence? Didn't you want to go on this quest to test your stealth training? But what if I get nervous? What if I forget how to be stealthy? Or what if none of the familiars want to talk to me? I don't know, Melanie. Melina. It's Melanie. I don't know where that came from. It was Melina. And what if I come back and you've been eaten by a T-Rex? Who cares? I do. The T-Rex threat is much lower in Zoford. I think you should go with her. I'm going to suggest it. I think you should mind your own business. Rude? After everything we have been through, dude. And I think you should make better decisions. Melly is right. You two are a good team, especially for this case. So stop hiding from the imaginary T-Rex of emotional vulnerability and just go as this familiar theme vacation. You might even enjoy it. Listen, Melina, even if I wanted to come with you, I couldn't. I've got obligations, things to do. You're a thief. You don't have fixed working hours, and you don't have any other friends waiting around for you. I mean, maybe me, but maybe not. But I do have a sheepfish to take care of. You have a sheepfish? I do. His name is Rufus, and he doesn't do well alone. Plus, he needs to be fed and do his daily crossword puzzles, otherwise his wool will get strawy. Oh, well, you're right. You can't just leave Rufus alone. I'll take him. He'll get lonely. Yeah. I could take care of Rufus. What? Well, I live nearby, and I'm very good with animals and pretty decent at crossword puzzles. That sounds like an excellent idea. What if Rufus doesn't like you? He will. Certainly after one of Fable's famous lullabies. You sing? Sometimes. Maybe you can sing a song about how Mal and Rufus got eaten by a T-Rex while the familiars booed me out of town. I think I'd prefer a song about you and Malachite saving those familiars instead. Right, Mal? Fine. But just this once. See it as a final exam for your training. Yay! That sounds fun! Wonderful. So do you two need any help on your quest? Don't know. What do you think, Detective? Well, it's great that you would ask, Mighty Assistant. Please don't call me that. Okay, Mighty Mal then. No. How about John? Sure. So, John, thanks for asking. I have studied the quest given to us through closely. And I have come to the conclusion that there is only one option. This is a classic case of finding the right clues sprinkled throughout the witnesses' testimonies and piecing them together correctly. The townfolk, the wizards, the familiars, they'll all have different conflicting information, and we'll need to collect and untangle it all to see the whole picture. But to achieve that, we need to be charismatic enough to get the truth out of them. And for those who still refuse to talk to us out of guilt or fear, we'll need to activate our stealth powers, find those hidden clues ourselves. Also, we should be quick so they can't destroy any evidence. I can offer you some of your golden feathers. They do come with the sweet aftertaste of haste. That way you should be able to make it to Zoford much quicker. Great idea! I think you underestimate the severity of the situation. What would you suggest instead, John? I agree with the stealth part. We could use a hint of dexterity to make sure we remain unseen for as long as possible. But I believe our focus should be on overpowering whoever's responsible for this. If they're making familiars disappear, they won't be interested in discussion. Not a fair one, at least. We should fight first. Ask questions later. Ever so much the fighter, I see. When it's necessary. If you're itching for a fight, may I recommend fresh phoenix chilies. Some fire resistance could be a big advantage against wizards or familiars. Whether fireball or fire breath, you wouldn't want to walk in unprepared. Does Andu have fire breath? Technically yes, but he's usually too lazy to use it. It helps a bunch with roasting marshmallows, though. I'd love to try Andu's marshmallows. I'll see if I can set something up when you return. Thank you. I think some s'mores could also help convince those familiars to help us. That's ridiculous. A dagger would be far more convincing. I think both could work. Innkeeper, what do you think? They definitely need a little bit of dexterity for sneaking around, but what should they pair it with? Haste for quick arrival and charisma for smooth talking, or pure strength and some fire resistance? Let me think about it. I feel like... I don't know. I mean... It's a tough choice. So... It's either I want to give them defense or I want to give them haste. I'm leaning towards the haste, which is that the golden feathers. Yeah, little haste makes an adventurer inhumanly fast, great for reaching long distance locations and escaping every fight unharmed. Okay, I'm gonna use the golden feather. Maybe not. There we go. So if I use a golden feather, they need a charisma and dexterity drink. Which is the... Isn't that the... No, that's intelligence. Yeah, and that starts us off with that. What does that mean? Does that mean I just need one of those? And 3 of these? So, more than likely it would... Oh, 1,000 wins. Possibly the Sunny Breeze. Spoken Heart. Enhanced Charm, Reflexes, tastes like pleasant wind. Maybe this? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see if this is... No, that can't reach the mark. Okay, so give me here undo. Okay, so that doesn't reach the mark. So we'll just go with this one then. Wait, that made 1,000 wins. When I was trying to do this one. This is because I put too much, hold on. Okay, this is the only confusing thing about this one. So maybe that can't work with it. This one's a tough one. I did get this one to work, so maybe that's what I have to do. Because it does already have the dexterity one. Yep, that's probably 1,000 wins because it leans towards the dexterity. It already had the, charisma. It already had the dexterity because of this and this one. So we'll go with this. I think this case needs a delicate hand. The best detective work is achieved through clever conversation. Ha! You're spot on. Guess this is how I die. Don't be so pessimistic. My drinks have your back. As do I. Do you think you're prepared to solve this case, Detective? Yes, with your help, we'll complete this quest with haste. We'll be back soon. Best of snooping. I think he's mad at me. I should go with them to pick up the sheepfish before they disappear into the night. Don't forget to sing them a lullaby. Rufus or John? Rufus. I'll take care of John. Right, obviously. I'm gonna go now. Have fun, Fable. Yeah, that drink took me a bit of time to figure out what I needed to do for it. Innkeeper. Chrissy, glad to see you're alright. Likewise, good to see you in the tavern are unharmed. It's quite the disaster out there. And I'm just passing through. Don't have time to stay for long. Need to check on the cottage and the birds and Fable. I'm sure everything it is as it was. The canopies of the grove are sturdy after all, which is why I chose to make it my home, that and the landscape. I hope your trip was nice at least. Oh, it was. It felt great to recharge and refill the creative juices. We walked a lot, actually. Almost mapped out the whole island. We also hiked to the foot of the Barrow Ridge, where the Oreos take the peaks. I heard the view is quite remarkable. It was. I'd never seen anything like it before. It was the first time I got to catch a glimpse of them. Also caught a glimpse of the infamous Banshee. Everyone told us to avoid the lonely lagoon because of her, but it's too beautiful to ignore. I doubt the Banshee means any harm. Everyone yearns for a friend, after all, even scary creatures. It gets lonely as a monster sometimes. Everyone is scared of you. People shouldn't be. No one can choose who they're born as. We should accept them as they are. I have a few patrons who'd really appreciate hearing that. Then I'd be happy to meet them. Speaking of which, I got something for you. Oh? Yeah, remember the gnomes? I actually met some. Really? They had a booth at the convention. We're selling all types of stuff. I remembered our conversation and got you this. I thought you might appreciate it. Oh, that's neat. I do, thank you. It'll certainly always have a special place in my heart knowing it came from you. Oh, you're such a sweet talker, but you can't trick me into giving you my name. What would I want with names? Nothing good, that's for sure. But for realsies, I have to leave now. I've been gone for too long. See you around, Innkeep. See you around, Chrissy. Take care of yourself. Always. I thought she was going to give us information about the Banshee there for a second, because we still have that quest. What the? Is that the Banshee? Baya, good to see you again. It's been a while. Oh, it's not. Yes, a while. A while. 6,000 years. More like 2 months. Oh, I thought I had hibernated longer. You hibernated at this time of year. It was for the Bloom Tide Festival. It happens near my swamp every year during the Dreaming Moon. Druids and bards join together in search of the moon pools for 2 whole weeks. They dance, they laugh, they scatter pretty little flowers everywhere. They hope if they can satiate the land, it will lead them to the reflection of the cosmos. You mean the set of mystical lakes that's said to reflect all the 7 moons at once? Yes. Ever since the Twilight Chasm portal opened up within them, a mere 30 years ago, travelers have become increasingly obsessed with bathing in their beauty. Such festivals can't sound exciting. No. They are loud, with their songs and their arguing about getting lost in the endless maze of the marshes. And they walk around with the torches of burning ember that swing too close to my precious vines. Why would you bring fire into a swamp? It is a little rude. Exactly. You know, I tried to join them one time. Their dainty flowers intrigued me, and I snuck up to them, dressed in my prettiest poison ivy adorned with thorns of undying trees. And you know what they did? What? They chased me away with their fiery brooms, chanting, "Demon be gone," from the top of their tiny lungs. So now I hibernate every dreaming moon. That way I don't have to listen to their jolly tunes. Maybe you should give them another chance. Maybe you should chase them out of your home. How about another chance? Very few Gaians are familiar with the creatures of the bog, only with the stories about their bone-crushing teeth. What's wrong with bone-crushing teeth? They think you might want to crush their bones with them. Ah, but that would be so rude. They don't think like that. But I think if they got to know you, they'd like you a lot. After all, you make the best flower crowns in all of Gaia, maybe even of all Asteria. Those sound perfect for a festival. You might be right. Maybe I'll greet them with some flower crowns next year. I could even open up a seasonal flower crown store. I'd definitely buy one. But right now, I'm awake. And thirsty. Do you have swamp water on the menu today? I'm all out, sorry. Too bad. Something else then. Oh, I know. Do you still have those drinks that make you feel like an itsy bitsy spider? I want to feel fast and dangly. In fact, I still do. Give me one moment. What the hell makes you feel like an itsy bitsy spider? And who the hell would ever want to drink it? That would be a swift strike. Okay, so we need some defense. Intelligence. And all the dexterity. A spider's agility in a cup just for you. Oh, delicious. I feel like I could scale any spider web and devour any fly. Thank you, Innkeeper. What woke you up from your slumber anyhow? The night sky fell into my dirt hut. It burned my favorite weeping willows to bits. I am replanting it into many small sniffling willows. They are feasting upon the ashes of the stars that tried to extinguish them. It's a powerful nutrient. Sounds tasty. After the trees and wind and pill bugs came down, I had planned to go back to sleep. All that calamity made me awfully tired. But when I tried to sleep, all I could focus on was this feeling spreading in my chest. Heartburn? Loneliness. I thought I should get out there and advertise my new spa. Because only crickets were visiting, and they weren't very good at marketing. You know, maybe if people visited me instead of me visiting them, they won't chase me off. So I went to where I knew people could use my services, the werewolf camp in the Ashen Grove. I didn't want to intrude on their personal space, of course. So I just hung the coupons up on pieces of thin red string in a nearby canopies, together with some jolly little bells so that the wind would announce their presence. Like little spells that draw you towards the nearest mud masks. I hope they'll visit me sometime. I didn't know you opened a spa. It's new. I wanted to share my flowers and mud and pools with everybody so we can all look beautiful together. That sounds wonderful, Baya. I agree. Can I leave some of my coupons here? Yes or no? Yes, of course. Thank you. Please hand them out to all your customers. I will happily share this fantastic offer with them. You could also come here more often and hand them out yourself. Ah, but there's no one else here, except the jackdaw. Do you want a coupon, little creature? I will leave you one in your nest. No one's here because it's almost closing time, Baya. You have to come back earlier, during the day or earlier in the evening or during events. But there will be people here. Yes, I believe that's the point. Ugh, too scary. Let's see about Baya. Okay, bog creature, 555 years old. She, they, druid, moon swamp, chaotic neutral, the lovers. Baya is an ancient swamp creature I've known for a long time. She's a very sweet soul, but other people tend to find her terrifying, even attacking her. They love spiders and opened a swamp spa a while ago. Sadly, she hasn't gotten a lot of visitors yet. Okay, I shall go now. Don't forget to hand out my coupons. Will do. Okay, feed undo. Clean up. And blow out the candles. Oh, it's raining again. Okay, Act 2, Starlight Sonata, 10 Twin Flames, 8th of the Astral Moon. Hey, Innkeeper. Hello, it's been a while since I've seen you around. A whole week to be exact, and you already miss me. A little. Cute. I got my hands on a job all the way over in Dira. It seemed like something relatively easy, but paid well. Or like something too good to be true. Not this time. Apparently the farmer just wanted it to be done quickly, so she offered a higher than average rate. Sounds like easy money. Yeah, I wish. You know, I think I could use a drink first. Something that'll bring back my usual speed and agility. I feel like this job drained me of all my energy. Only if I get to hear the rest of the story. It sounds like a good deal to me. Okay, well that would be a swift strike. Seems like that's what everybody orders. Let's hope this suits your taste. Your drinks never disappoint. Glad to hear. I can definitely feel my senses coming back to me. I made you a drink, now it's your turn. Tell me about your latest job. Fine. A deal's a deal. Told you the client's a farmer, right? She has a large flock of two-headed sheep. Apparently that darn star fall damaged their barn, and they somehow managed to break out of their enclosure. Didn't think they were that clever, honestly. Must be the two brains. Probably. Anyways, they got out right before the shearing appointment, and of course the farmer needed to get them back in time. Especially considering the rumors surrounding Dyria at the moment. Seems to be a dangerous place nowadays. Apparently an unusual amount of cattle have gone missing these last few weeks, so local folks have been keeping a closer eye on their locks and fences. Okay, so we got the rumor, danger zone. Of course the farmer wanted her sheep to be safe, so she hired someone to bring her animals back. That someone being you? Obviously. I thought to myself, I'm a monster hunter. Handling animals is basically my job. I'd say a monster hunter is rather known for, well, hunting instead of handling. That was exactly the issue. Do you know how stubborn two-headed sheep are? Let me guess. They're twice as stubborn as one-headed sheep. You got it. They're impossible to get moving, impossible to startle. One head might be eating while the other one is always watching you. But you did it right. I suspect you wouldn't be here if you hadn't finished the job. You're absolutely correct. I was at my wit's end. Imagine having fought hundreds, if not thousands of beasts. And some sheep are the one enemy you can't win against. That sounds like an incredibly humbling experience. It was. Trust me. But luckily I got some help. Another adventurer saw me struggling and offered her assistance and knowledge. Or should I say, a retired adventurer. Oh? Yeah, she was very insistent on that label. Some kind of astral finfolk must have lost her arm a while ago. Oh no. Back to the sheep. She told me there's apparently no one that gets their full attention. You got any guesses on what that magical tool might be? I have no... Clovers! Morning dew clovers, to be precise. They go absolutely feral for them. A few will make them follow every single one of your commands. But someone with your experience should know that, Innkeeper. Oh, okay, we got a history here. Do you two know each other? Barely. Ha! Keep your secrets then, oh so mysterious Innkeeper. I wanted to buy her a drink after she helped me out back there. Didn't expect you two to be best friends, honestly. Best friends? I think you got that one wrong, Jade. I've never befriended someone like her. I have taste. Well, that was unnecessarily rude of you, Una. You didn't even consider my feelings. Consider me sorry, Innkeep. Apology accepted. Speaking of taste, what about your drinks? I know you're always liked experimenting with potions and other suspicious liquids. Looks like you finally made it, huh? Indeed. I think I got the hang of it. Then what are you waiting for? Your old rival is waiting for a drink. Preferably one that will restore my energy. Those sheep made my old bones all wobbly, and I don't like feeling so weak. Got you. Let's see what that old magic has to offer. Don't worry, she might not look like it, but her drinks are actually really good. I bet. I'll just take that as a compliment, I suppose. Man, I got two rude people. Thought Jade was bad enough. Okay, so we need a Southern Brawler for that. Okay, defense, charisma, and strength. Okay, Andu's just so cute. He's just so adorable. Oh, wow. Impressed? Don't get cocky now. You don't have to be shy. You can just admit I've improved. So, Una, Jade told me you're retired now. Had enough of adventuring business? Absolutely. I don't want to have anything to do with it anymore. I've completed enough quests for at least 2 lifetimes. And yet you decided to help Jade. Ever had to handle a 2-headed sheep? Not yet. Lucky you. Lucky indeed. I just couldn't watch her struggle with those stubborn beasts any longer, but this was a one-time exception. Did the farmer pay accordingly after your morning dew clover's magic trick? Oh, absolutely. She was so happy she gratefully paid both of us. That's good to hear. She even tipped us with some gems she supposedly found in one of her fields. But I'm a Mayada. I don't have any use for stones like those. And since I'm retired, I couldn't care less about material riches. So we figured we'd give them to you instead. But I wouldn't tell that pretentious blonde dragon priestess if I were you. Feels like a blasphemous gift. Oh, divine gems. A little blasphemous indeed. Okay, so infusion was locked with citron. I think I know just the right way to use them. Thank you. Don't mention it. Now that we're done here, I can finally go back to crocheting for the rest of my life. Didn't get this hook put in for nothing. Of course, I also occasionally got to rip some youngster off while playing cards. I haven't lost a game in at least 4 decades. Okay, so let's check out Una. Okay, she's a Finfolk, 68, she, her, Arcane Engineer, Astral Sea, Neutral Good, the Empress. I've been rivals with Una long before this story even began. She was an adventurer back then, but is retired now. Even put a crochet hook into the stump of her arm, but there are other things about her that'll never change. I'm pretty sure she'll never stop stacking that deck, for example. That's remarkable. Or impossible for someone who's only playing fair. I think your lucky streak will end with me today. I've also never lost a game in at least a decade. Are you challenging me to a duel? Absolutely. And whoever loses has to pay for the next round of drinks. That's the spirit. I like you, bounty hunter, but don't come crying to me after I annihilate you. You wish. Jade be on guard, Una be on guard. I'm gonna warn Jade. I have a feeling Una's got her number. You're worried about me? Cute. I just know for a fact that Una is a master at cheating. I doubt that's changed. So you're saying you've lost against her? More than once, yes. Pathetic. Rude. Hey, are you talking about me? Listen, Innkeep, if your opponent is obviously cheating like she was, you can't beat them fair and square. You gotta beat them at cheating. Now watch how a real master does it. You two are rude and need to get out of my place immediately. Oh, we got somebody new here. Okay, got the achievement Beauty and Sadness. Hello. Innkeeper, I have returned. Welcome back, Miss Anwar, and welcome. This brave adventurer's name is Claymore. He offered unexpected support during my quest. I'm happy to hear that. Thank you so much on behalf of, the world. Yes, of course, the world, Mr. Clay. Just Clay is alright. I think he's a barbarian. Are you okay, Clay? Yes. I'm just a bit sad, but that's okay. Not every day can be sunshine and ferrets. Yeah, we don't have a lot of ferrets around here, sorry. He'll be okay. One's first quest can sometimes be a bit much. It wasn't my first quest. I just don't like when there's fighting. You were very good at it. I know, but I like it more when we all get along in the end. Evil can't be reasoned with. Not everyone will disagree. Not everyone you disagree with is evil. Wise words. Can I offer you two a drink in exchange for hearing about what you encountered? I suppose that's fair. Clay, what would make you feel better? I don't know. How about one of those drinks with ingredients? You look strong. How about something extra for those muscles? That sounds nice. Let's go with that. 1 minute. Does he want an ingredient in it? Yeah, well, no, that just shows... I don't know if he... Am I supposed to give him an ingredient? We'll just make him a drink since it didn't show up. Give him a Southern Brawler. I don't think we're supposed to put an ingredient in it. It usually shows up, so, but when he said that special ingredient, I thought that's what he was asking for. Try this. I think it might make for a good ferret replacement. This tastes strong and magic-y, but it's not as soft as petting a ferret. Still, I love it. I have to remember this one for next time. What is it called? Don't worry, I'll remember it for you. Thank you. Now, Miss Anwar, what would you like? I need some of that liquid vigilance. Even in here, it's important to stay on guard. Wouldn't this be the right time to relax? There is no such time. All right, then I shall aid you on your divine mission of not falling asleep standing. Dude, her eyes. She was like, looked like she's ticked at me. Okay, that would be the Frosted Lagoon. Charisma, strength, and defense. Some liquid vigilance, oh my god, I cannot talk. Some liquid vigilance diluted with some delicious secret ingredients. Enjoy. I could do with something less diluted, but you're right, it's delicious. Happy to hear that. Now, I believe you earned yourself a story. Please go ahead. Clay, do you want to start? No, I think you should go first. I missed your whole investigation. I suppose that is correct. Well then, as you already know, Innkeeper, I plan to start investigating right here in Zenith. Specifically at the fallen West Gate. It was a depressing sight to behold. So I've been told. I assume either Melina or the vampire caught you up on their observations. Both, actually. But Melly went into a lot more detail. Mostly about those wildfire badgers. Ah, yes. It was reckless of them to sneak after me like that. I'm glad I was there to save them. Me too. Unfortunately, the rubble did not hide anything of value to me. But fortunately, thanks to your rumors, I was not entirely without a lead. The wizard's prophecy led me to Dalwell. Or, should I say, the Abandoned Isle or Fairweather. The name changes depending on who you ask. I didn't know it had that many names. I always just called it Kelpie Island. Why? Because it's shaped like one. Probably the smartest approach. Kelpie Island or Fairweather, its name means very little to me. Its local settlement of Fae was much more relevant. They built everything into the giant sakura that holds their portal to Avalon. Their portal is in a tree? Yes, right in its center. They call it the Horizon Tree. It's beautiful. The Fae themselves were not as helpful as I'd hoped. They didn't seem to understand the severity of the situation. Instead, they were much more interested in trying to sell me their rubbish. It kept going on and on about how I desperately needed one of their acorn amulets. When I inspected one, the magic was so chaotic I could barely concentrate on its aura. All it gave me was a headache, so I passed on the allegedly grand opportunity. Seems like you missed out on a good deal. Seems like you dodged a scam. Yeah, we'll say good deal. The protective magic of this Seedly is no joke. It could have guarded you from the squirrel attacks for the rest of your life. Dragons, you sound just like them. I think an acorn amulet would be nice. You should make one. That'd be fun. Will you enchant it for me? Anytime. Anyhow, when I rejected their offer, they told me I was worse than an astral humpback whale. When I inquired into the meaning of that phrase, they told me such a whale had destroyed one of their scouting camps just a couple of days ago, and that apparently my rejection of their generous offer was a bigger slight. They didn't wish to elaborate further, but I had what I needed. No acorns, I assume? No, but a hint towards something that had caused unusual chaos very recently. Even if it had nothing to do with the Starfell, this creature clearly posed a threat to the settlement. So I'm not sure what you would have done next, actually. Go swimming for a whale? Of course not. One would not find such a creature in the ocean. Obviously, I knew that. But it can be summoned with a celestial summoning ritual, which you know how to do. Naturally. So when night fell, I made my way to the nearby Carapace beach and prepared to summon a whale. I don't mean to question your methods, but if you were going to summon an astral creature for answers, couldn't you have just summoned Cassiopeia herself? She would know what's going on, I'm guessing. Are you out of your mind? Summon a dragon. The Realm Keepers have sworn a divine oath of neutrality that prevents them from directly interfering with the simple world of us mortals. The full might of their powers could disrupt the delicate balance of their cosmic design. Right. Sorry. Slipped my mind. You are forgiven. Unfortunately, my ritual was not as pictured, perfect, as I would have liked it to have been. I was not able to find any flimmering limpet shells, so I had to fall back to different ones, which meant the protective properties were a bit out of balance. I knew this meant that the whale was likely to break out of the protective bounds of my summoning circle, but sometimes risks are necessary. You could have just waited for the tides to bring in new shells. I did not have the time, or the idea. I was prepared to defend myself. I did not need to waste time on alternative solutions. And except for the minor lack of protection, the ritual went off without a hitch. Normally, the burning of the shells would have been scorched by my hands, but luckily I happened to be fireproof at that very moment. How convenient. When the last shell burned to a crisp, a colossal astral humpback whale disappeared out of the sky in the wave of concerning darkness. Stars used to accompany them. I mean, there was one star. There was. The whale was even bigger than I anticipated, almost as tall as the Horizon Tree, and in its stomach rested a giant sun, the only star of the night sky whose light had not been extinguished, nestled right in its belly. That sounds unhealthy. That sounds beautiful. No, it sounds dangerous. The creature was out of its mind the moment it fully materialized. I expected some initial hostility, but it did not even hesitate to attack me. Sounds like a very angry whale. Or a very hurt one. I admit it was a tough foe. Its bite was strong and coated in the fire of a swallowed star. It attempted to swallow me too several times. Most of its attacks could not damage me, of course, thanks to your drink. It had no chance against my defenses. But it was still a massive beast, and my attacks alone were not enough to bring it down. And that's where Clay came in? Exactly. My mace was in its maw, and we were locked in a contest of strength, when suddenly someone pushed it into the waves, granting me a moment to collect myself. Moments later, Clay was by my side. Together we were able to vanquish the beast. Were you there for the whale too? No, I was collecting seashells. Seashells? Yes, for my friends. At this time of year, Kelpie Island is full of all kinds of sparkling, floating animals from the astral sea, and they love munching on seashells. Do you encounter these creatures a lot? I try to. They're very nice. Usually, at least. But when I saw Tia fighting that whale, I had to step in. It looked terrified, you know. Every time the moonlight hit her armor, it bared its teeth like it was trying to scare her off. After I pushed it out of her way, I thought I should try to calm it down. I tried communicating with it, told it to stop, but it seemed too scared to even hear me, or in too much pain. In pain. Every time it moved, it seemed to wince slightly, like when you carry logs all day and then someone asks you to help rearrange the kitchen. But I didn't even have enough time to figure out what was wrong. It jumped back right at Tia, and Tia right back at it. I did notice Clay trying to speak with it at first, and I considered stepping back for a moment, but I could not risk anyone else getting hurt. No doubt it would have ravaged the camp again, perhaps even the settlement. So you didn't manage to calm it down? No. I realized that I could only save one of them, so I pushed away my worries and helped Tia defeat it. He's a remarkable fighter. He's incredibly tenacious, and a brute force helped me defeat it quite quickly. Tia kept its attack focused on her, and I dealt the final blow. With his weapon striking its body for the final time, it and the star in its belly exploded into stardust that then slowly settled in the Carapace Sea. It was like 1,000 tiny stars all floating in the deep blue. While that does sound beautiful, it doesn't sound like you found the information you were looking for, Tia. I did not. I was hoping to examine its body, but all that was left were miniature stars seemingly stuck to the waves, gently crashing into the sand. She was really frustrated, so I suggested we could try talking to its ghost, like my granny likes to do. She said that astral whales don't have ghosts, which seemed wrong to me. They already have the perfect translucent body for it. The ghost was a dead end, but he did give me an idea. Through my innate connection to Cassiopeia, I realized I could try to commune with its fading essence through the stars it had left behind. Of course, I do not speak whale, but Clay does. You do? I can talk to animals. Fantastic, you're full of surprises. It is. Though I'm not always sure they like talking to me. They tend to disappear sooner or later. Sometimes they come back, but often they don't. I think maybe I accidentally say things that upset them without realizing it, and they think I mean to hurt them. I hate when that happens. You mean they just disappear like they were never there? Yes, like they moved to a different, quieter beach. Or like they returned to the astral sea? I feel like they would tell me if they went back home. Not necessarily. Many Australian creatures can traverse the plains at will, but they don't always have control over when they return. On many occasions, the astral currents pull them back home before they're ready. And once you're swept up in them, each subsequent journey out becomes more and more difficult, or so I've been told. I would guess your friends either went home when you weren't there or got pulled back before they had a chance to say goodbye. So you're saying the sea swallowed them? Not quite. It just beckoned them home through a celestial hug of sorts. So that means I could just visit them in the astral sea. That would be an incredible undertaking. Traveling between planes is quite hazardous. It is, but echoes are from the primordial sea, and my family has lived here for quite a while, I think. They must have gotten here somehow. They say it was much simpler to traverse between planes once, but for a long time it has been impossible without complicated and dangerous rituals. Until recently, the astral sea was the only plausible way to pass through the barriers, and accessing it requires meticulous planning. Not to mention the sea tends to come with more risk than rewards. Even your Asterian friends who choose to leave their home plane on a whim get pulled back by the currents eventually. Imagine what would happen if you went unprepared. But the Fae on Kelpie Island aren't from Gaia either, and they told me they haven't lived here for very long. Since the 5 interplanar portals opened up, interplanar traveling has become a lot more accessible again, at least when it comes to the dream planes. But even the astral and primordial seas, not to mention are finally open to us again after all these years. It is a true miracle to witness in our lifetimes. So the portals haven't always been there. I didn't know that. Who put them there? Well, that is a very good question. and one that would blow the scope of this conversation beyond its bounds, I would think. You still have to tell me what came of your conversation with the whale's essence. You're right, we're getting off track. I prepared a second ritual, this time a much gentler one, and with Clay's cooperation in mind. Are you glad Clay was with you? Clay, aren't you happy she was there to help you? Let's say about Clay. I suppose I am. You really are? You are surprisingly competent. Perhaps one might even say I could not have done this entirely without you. If one was to be extreme about it. I think someone like you could do anything alone if you put your mind to it, but that doesn't mean you should have to. I'm always happier when doing difficult things if I have help from other people. Well said, Clay. Stellar teamwork, you two. Keep it up. Will do. When I was done with preparations, I kneeled down in the celestial waves, Clay's warm hand in mine, and I prayed to the Lady of the Gilded Seas that she would allow us to glimpse of the slain creature's soul. Did it work? Of course it did. It felt like bathing in the river of stars, but the stars had fallen and had feelings and aches and even more feelings. Its thoughts were like a song of ice and fire. It sounded so scared and cold and sad. Cold is not what I would have expected from a whale with a star in its belly. Me neither, but that's when I realized what was wrong, why it had looked so sickly and gray. The whale had been cursed with the potent frostbite that had frozen its body from the inside out. A very painful condition that would drive anyone to madness. If you're scared, angry, and hurt enough, you'll do a lot of things you might regret later. Together we dove deeper into its memories and discovered how it had been affected. It fought some sort of evil creature on 2 legs that kept throwing things at it. A creature on 2 legs. So humanoid then. We assume. It turns out whales don't care much about our appearances, so its memories were blurry at best. During the fight, it swallowed some kind of stone that made its song turn black and white. It tasted horrible. But when you're a whale, you don't really worry about swallowing stones. You worry about the 2-legged monster throwing things at you. I would too. I just wanting to escape, it fled as quickly as it could, trying to find its way home. It felt really bad about destroying the camp. I get why. The worst part about being angry is seeing the wreckage you leave behind. Luckily, its anger subsided when it found its way back. It thought it was finally safe, but suddenly this freezing cold began. I don't mind the cold much. I'm from the highlands, and we get a lot of snow in the winter. But the kind of cold it felt was awful. Painful and inescapable, like it was freezing from the inside out. The potent frostbite I mentioned, it seems a curse took hold and slowly spread throughout its entire body. It tried to keep itself warm by feeding on solar crabs and cosmic squid, but that didn't help much. It just kept getting more scared and angrier and colder, until even its brain was freezing over. It couldn't think of anything other than the cold. So in its desperation, it ate the hottest thing it could find. A star. A star. A giant one at that. It looked deceptively small, contained in its belly, but apparently it was one of the biggest ones the night sky had to offer, the East Star. It ate Pharos, the guiding star of the endless seas. It did, and it helped. It kept its frostbite at bay, even if it did not eradicate it. But as you can imagine, such a massive star disappearing did not have the most desired effect on the astral sea's delicate balance of gravity. I can imagine that. The whale was very confused about what had happened. It looked like all the stars suddenly started to fall and spin out of place. They crashed into each other, causing more and more destruction with each passing moment. I don't understand all of what happened, but it felt bad. To label it as bad would be quite the understatement. The falling stars ripped holes in Cassiopeia's wings. To think that just one hungry creature could break the entire balance of the universe. It was hurt and scared. It should have endured instead of hurting others. In the end, it did what it did. Not everyone is as strong as you are. Not everyone's as strong as you are. Well, they should try to be. Now, the whale's legacy is destruction. I doubt it wanted that. Maybe not. It certainly left behind a small natural wonder. It seems that even the darkest moments leave behind some light. They do. I just wish it hadn't cost a life. Sometimes that's what heroism is about. Sacrifice. Ah, don't kid yourself. Heroism is about fun and making new friends. Hi, by the way. Hi. The whale caused the stars to fall from the sky. I wouldn't call that fun. The friends part usually comes first. I'm not particularly interested in making friends with creatures that cause so much damage. My dear, you could learn a lot from giving people some grace rather than condemning them for all eternity. Sometimes granting strangers the space to grow can change everything. The beast could have grown into a supernova, or into the new East Star. I could not have taken such a risk. You seem like you have control issues. Maybe try being more like your friend here. You know how to let loose, right, buddy? I think I'm pretty fun at parties, if that's what you mean. But sometimes when I let loose, people get hurt, like that whale. So maybe Tia is right. Self-control is important. My, you're all a bunch of mopey clowns. And you are incredibly unconcerned about the impact of letting something that dangerous live. If it had continued causing trouble, this weirdo over here would have just made a quest out of it. But I guess you're too young to understand the virtue of taking it easy. With age, you learn things just happen as they happen over and over again. It sounds like you just want to avoid taking responsibility for your role in that cycle. I intend not to be part of it. I intend to actually change things. So far you seem like a pretty standard cleric. Maybe a bit too paladin for my taste, but if you say so. I just hope you can live with the changes you cause, because you're going to have to. I'm ready to take responsibility. At least it's better than apathy. Dragons, I did not miss religious zealotry. Anyway, old enemy, got another drink for me? I'm running dry. Anytime, Una. Are you still running low on energy? How about another strong one? You got it. Okay, so Southern Brawler. Something strong for the most strong-headed lady I know. Weird way to admit you've lost every argument against me. But this drink is splendid, I'll give you that. What are you going to do now, kid, now that your bad whale is defeated? Find out who is behind this. Clearly the whale is merely the byproduct of some sort of agenda. I must find out what that is. Justice never sleeps, does it? It cannot afford to. No one is going to thank you for working yourself to the bone. People usually prefer you sticking around instead. Which is something I'm not going to do right now, because I have a card game to win. Good luck with your agendas. I apologize on her behalf. It's fine. Tia, do you want to go? No, she was just being overly dramatic. Oh, I see. Maybe we should listen to her advice, at least a little bit. My granny always says, with age comes the priceless wisdom of mistakes. And that lady was right. You could use some rest. I think she greatly underestimates the importance of the situation. Both of those things can be true at the same time. Clay, you do have a point that age can bring wisdom few of us can otherwise aspire to. Perhaps the knowledge we need to uncover this conspiracy lies not in the future, but in the past. After all, the past is full of terrible disasters that were prevented, which means that this too could have been attempted before, if not very successful. Knowledge of something so vile must be sacred and well guarded, maybe even abandoned. I have never come across anything like this anywhere in the Aperture's library. Granted, the Aperture has only been standing for a little over 2 decades, no? Its library can't be that vast. Many of the Order's books were relocated to the new stronghold. But I do believe that we don't currently harbor the knowledge I seek. For that, other avenues must be explored. What are you considering? We could ask someone we come across until we find someone who knows something. Good idea, but that would take far too long. I think we should look for the Everbloom archives. Is that a book club? An ancient one. Everbloom was one of the Great Seven Mayadan archives. The Gaian one, to be specific. Legend has it that there used to be one on each plane, even Tuat, the plane of the dead. They were once filled with all the knowledge of the cosmos and grew in size every day thanks to their fearless archivist. But then they fell to an unknown foe and have been lost to time ever since. I believe one of them could hold the answers we seek. Innkeeper, do you perhaps know where to find this archive? Nope, not much of a librarian, unfortunately. Disappointing. Okay, so we got the rumor, unlocked Everbloom. But you could keep an eye out for it, right? You could ask all the scholarly people that pass through here. Of course, I can do that. Perhaps you can start by asking that bounty hunter when she's done gambling all her money away. You could ask her yourself. I would rather not. I'll take that terrible task off your hands then. Wonderful. You won't need more than a day to take care of this, right? I could do with a little more time. Nonsense. We don't have more time. I need your full commitment on this, Innkeeper. This is very short notice. As are disasters typically, hence the vigilance, I shall return to fully prepare quest tomorrow morning. Okay. In the meantime, you should rest. Don't be ridiculous. I have things to do, people to help, prayers to consult. Una was right. A good night's sleep would do wonders for you. I could even offer you some coupons to a beautiful swamp spa. I'm not interested. If I rest now, who will this world have faith in? I shall see you tomorrow. It's always nice to see a workaholic in action. Don't worry, I'll go with her and make some bread. Warm bread always helps me when I'm feeling sad. I think she might need some. That's very kind of you, Clay. Make sure you get some too. I wouldn't resist warm bread if I tried. Do you want some as well? Yes, please, nothing. Yeah. I love homemade bread. I'll bring some by tomorrow. Do you have any allergies? No, thank you, Clay. Anytime. I hope you like bread rolls. Who doesn't? I'll take some of these coupons too. Wonderful. Talking through everything really helped. Thank you. I'm happy to hear that. I hope you held on to those seashells. Catching up some astral friends might make you feel a little bit better. Actually, I was thinking I could use the shells to make some friendship bracelets for Tia and I. I want to carve them into the stars. I also managed to collect a bit of stardust so that I could always remember the whale. I didn't really know what to do with it at first, but on my way back, I combined it with some sea glass. Initially, I wanted it to be a gift for Tia, but I don't think she would like it that much. But it would look very good in your tavern, Innkeeper. Ooh, neat. Got a little chime here. That's amazing. Excellent craftsmanship, I have to say. Are you sure I can keep it? I am. I can see that you're appreciating it, and that's more than enough for me. Thank you very much. It's stunning. I think that sometimes you have to make something beautiful out of things that hurt you. Otherwise, you're left with anger that has nowhere to go. Do you like being angry? Yes, I do. No, I don't. Can't say I do. Me neither. But we all get angry sometimes. It's not the most fun, but it's important. Never getting angry doesn't solve anything either. It just makes you smaller and smaller until people no longer see you as someone they need to think about. At least they're not scared of you. Anger doesn't make you any more of a monster than silence makes you a saint. Be a whole person, Clay, and don't be scared of who that is. I'll try, Innkeeper. Thank you. Okay, so we unlocked information about Clay. Okay, he's a giant, an earth echo. Okay, so he's another echo. 31, he, him, barbarian, highlands, neutral good, strength. Clay is a sweet and gentle half-giant. He loves animals and can communicate with them, a skill no one should underestimate. He believes in good in people and is exceptionally empathetic. On the other hand, he is also a very strong and remarkable fighter. I hope you find a way back to yourself, too. Thank you, Clay. Me too. Oh, it's a skeleton guy. Top of the evening to you. Welcome to my tavern. Oh, what do my magical eyes see? New faces, new acquaintances. With whom do I have the pleasure today? No way, a speaking skeleton? Haven't seen one of those in a long time. Hello there, how incredibly rude of me to leave out introductions. My name is Scully. And he's so polite as well. You can call me Una, Mr. Scully, and that one over there is my friend Jade. Ah, fellow Maeda, but with more skin left. Which isn't immensely difficult, I suppose. Glad to make your acquaintance, Una, and her friend Jade. Jade, that's a beautiful necklace you have there. Scully, shouldn't you be named after a gemstone? Why would I compliment her necklace? Let's go with the gemstone, because if he's like her, and that's common, let's ask that one. As far as I'm aware, Maeda last names reference their bones, no? Correct, but I cannot remember what my poor bones are made out of. Death has left quite a lot of gaps in this head of mine. Let me have a look. Looks like alabaster to me. Hard to say without a thorough analysis, though. Alabaster? That does sound familiar. Like an old name, perhaps? I'm not sure, but it's worth investigating. Thank you, Jade. Still, let us stick with Scully until we have more detailed information. I think I should be going now. I still have work to do. What a coincidence. I happen to want to say this exact same thing. But wouldn't it be rude of us to leave that distinguished gentleman all by himself? I think one of us should definitely stay a little longer. Isn't it cool that both of you have bones made of shimmery gemstones? That is true. I haven't seen another Maeda since I woke up. So anywhere between 2 weeks and 2 centuries ago. See, it's a match already. Would be a shame if the two of you were to become friends. Huh? Anyways, see ya. That was quick. Indeed. I guess a woman her age knows what she wants. Good mythical morning. It's well past sunset, Hex. That might be true, but it's still morning somewhere, I know. You got it, but today I'm not here to talk with you about primordial magic. Today we're going to celebrate my sister. Oh, his sister came. Greetings, everyone. Come on in. Pleased to meet you. My name is Scully. Jade. You can call me Hex, and this is Grace, my little sister. Yes, I know she's taller than me. You can keep it to yourselves. We're here to celebrate, not to roast, though some fire might be fun. No fireballs inside Hexagon. If you insist, a fireless party it is then. My bones are aching for a party. I haven't attended one in what feels like an eternity. What's the occasion? My wonderfully talented sister successfully defended her wizard doctoral thesis just today. She can now call herself an actual full-blown Selenite witch. It's not that special, honestly. I beg to differ. That's a majorly big deal. Congrats. I must congratulate you as well. Quite an outstanding achievement indeed. You're very sweet, thank you. I have to agree with everyone. You should be proud of yourself. How about a drink on the house to celebrate your graduation? Hex already told me that you're a real magical connoisseur. I would love to taste one of your creations, Innkeeper, but I don't know what to pick. Could you recommend something to me? Of course. How about a drink for your wits? Your brain must be tired after debating your professors all day. That sounds lovely. My brain could use a little pick-me-up. Coming right up. Okay. The nebula. I think, yeah, that's the only one that really uses all the brain. So the sparkling nebula it is. My, this is delightful. See, told you, she definitely knows her craft. Say, Innkeeper, do you have a PhD in mixology by any chance? Last time I checked, no, but I do have a lot of experience. Took me a while to get the hang of it. I can tell, your drinks are really tasty. I could easily go for another round of debating right now. Is anyone else up for a drink? Nah, not yet. I'm still energized from earlier. Scully, Hex, what about you two? I'm good. I don't want to steal the show today. I would love a refreshment for these old bones, actually. Perhaps something that'll bring back the charm of the old days. At your service. Okay, so we need... We'll go with the spoken heart. Need defense. Strength. Here you go, a drink for the charming gentleman. Oh, what a lovely taste. It warms my bones inside and out. Should I be worried? Maybe it's an undead thing. Well, theopractically, it would be possible for the magical drink to warm one's bones. You just need... You and your wild dreams, Hexy. Maybe leave those experiments to someone with an actual laboratory for once. Ah, all that talking about studying and degrees brings back so many old memories. I also was a scholar once. I spent my life as an archivist at the GN Everbloom Archives, to be precise. Oh, that's what we needed. Before my, well, supposedly internal slumber. I've read a lot about the old archivist, but I've never had the chance to talk to one. Well, obviously, they're all dead. All of them? Yes, the archives were destroyed ages ago. They're mostly a myth now. Oh, that's quite sad. A lot of knowledge must have gotten lost with them. I guess so. If you wouldn't mind, Scully, I'd love to hear more about them. Maybe we could revive some of that old knowledge. It would be my pleasure, but sadly I cannot remember much of my research. All those years below ground and without sunlight didn't seem to be good for my memory. It's been a few centuries since I've been alive, so I'm not even sure where one would find the archives nowadays. Or their ruins, rather. Okay, so we unlocked character information about Scully. Okay, so before his death, he was an archivist in the Everbloom Archives. He cared for and achieved all kinds of knowledge and history of this world. Mahida have surnames matching the gemstones their bones are made of. He remembers the word alabaster. Considering the color of his skeleton, it would certainly be a match. Okay, and then we have Grace Hex, Half-Elf 42, She-Her Wizard, Zenith, Neutral Good, the Hierophant. Okay, do you remember the environment surrounding them? Maybe you just need to think a bit harder. Well, I wouldn't say that. Let's ask if he remembers about the environment. Maybe that could help. A little, I believe. I might have even woken up close by. My early memories as a skeleton are quite hazy. During my lifetime, the archives were located deep underground. Gaia's living blessing were juxtaposed with a hostile and lifeless mountain range. They were surrounded by nothing but rocks and boulders as sharp as talons and fangs. Even if you made it out of the mountains, you'd be greeted by another dry steep or a poisonous lake. The liquid in that lake could singe the meat right off your bones. I knew someone that fell into the lake once. I remember it as if it were yesterday. Well, that sounds like not the best place to build an important archive stronghold. Wouldn't necessarily agree. They say the books and scrolls of the Maiden archives contain all the mysteries of our world and the realms that surround us. Of course, you have to protect that knowledge. It would be a shame if someone... Anyways. I think I know the place Scully's talking about. Oh? It sounds like the Gravelmac, sharp rocks next to a poisonous lake. There's no way a location like that exists twice on this plane, at least. Or else I would have heard of it. Okay, I wouldn't recommend going there. I bet it's exceptionally dusty after all the years, so we have unlocked the rumored deadly hideout. But think about those hidden treasures, knowledge left untouched for millennia. That sounds a little too ambitious, even for you. Fine. Your delicate wizard sensibilities wouldn't last a day in the Gravelmac anyway. Oh, and you would? Who can say? Anyway, I gotta go now. Shared enough secrets of the trade today and already. Okay, so more information unlocked about Jade. So she's surprisingly good with the animals and even has a little turtle accompanying her. Only two-headed sheep are giving her a hard time somehow, but through her travels, she's learned how to handle all sorts of people and how to win against them at cards fair and square, or not fair at all. Thank you for your reluctant service. What a lovely young lady. She would have made for a great archivist. And a grumpy one. I'm sure she just had a long day. As have I, honestly. I'm very tired. I'm absolutely sure of that. But you should be proud of yourself nonetheless. You should take care of yourself. I mean, she should be proud of herself. You seem like the kind of person to downplay your achievements. And getting your PhD really isn't something small or insignificant. It's nothing, really. I spent a lot of time researching. Defending my thesis was a mere formality. Scully and my point still stands, and I'm sure your brother would agree with us. Absolutely. You're all very kind. I really appreciate it. How about we call it a day? It's already getting late. A splendid idea, as I would expect from a witch like you. Okay, so we've unlocked Grace's information. Grace is a Selenite witch who just successfully defended her wizard's PhD thesis. She's calm and gentle and seems to be a bit tired of her brother's chaotic experiments. Her older brother's experiments. Even though he is shorter than her and looks younger, Grace is actually the youngest sibling. Seems fair. Hope you get to enjoy the rest of your evening, Innkeeper. I will, theopractically. Okay, so we can put one together. So let's see what we got here. Looks like the green one we can do. About the archive. Almost got those brown ones. Okay, so Raiders of the Lost Archives. The Lost Maiden Everbloom Archives are said to offer infinite knowledge to anyone with unanswered questions. Its ruins lie deep within Gravelmac, a dangerous and lifeless mountain range that even seasoned adventurers try to avoid. If that wasn't enough, the mountains are also said to be haunted by nightmarish bleak stalkers. Let's just hope they don't find abandoned archives cozy and inviting. All right, Act 2, Starlight Sonata. 11, Trouble in Paradise, 9th of the Astral Moon. All right, everyone, we're going to go ahead and end it there. I'm really curious to see Melina and John, his new name, come back from their quest. I wonder if we're going to hear from them in this next chapter. Also, I wonder who's going to pick up our archivist quest, if it will be Tia and Clay. Maybe they'll come and get it, or maybe somebody else will. So we'll find out in the next episode. Please leave me a comment down below, leave me a like, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you next time. Bye.